So we saw this little marketplace, and Jen said, "We'll stop." And she said, "I got the billfold if you want to stay in the car." And I thought, I better not.
Look at this place. It's so cute. And they have all kinds of stuff. And the place we went in next door is even cuter and have more stuff, more like pots and stuff. And I'm wondering why we don't have shit like this in Nashville. So this is a house full of orchids, and they were all gorgeous. And I tried to buy one, and Raymond wouldn't let me because he said something about I'd kill it.
But in the camper.
In the camper. So instead, I ended up buying a little air plant for the camper. We decided to go to San Francisco today since probably all the hiking trails I wanted to do were going to be busy. So we are headed to San Francisco. We've already stopped at a cute little area that had plants and pottery and all kinds of cool stuff. Here you can see some of the redwoods.
And we were amazed at how many houses you can put on one hillside when we got into San Francisco. And this is one of those automated driving cars. They also had the streetcar system still in action. We saw one on the road. And then we started going uphill, uphill, uphill. You know what goes up has to come down. This hill, when Jim was driving, topped it. It looked like the road just went away. And she stopped. I ended up backing up, turning and going down the next block to go down because this hill was too steep.
And this is the hill he actually went down. So thankfully Raymond's driving, and we're going down these hills here in San Francisco. We went over the top of one at a stop sign, and I freaked out. I'm not gonna lie.
We did. We stopped in the middle of the intersection, and we had cars behind us. I told her to back up. She couldn't. So I got in the seat, and I started backing up. People moved, and one person went by and said, "Just do it." I said, "Nope." 9,000-pound vehicle going down a hill, and if it was wet, you just slid all the way to the bottom. And this is the easier side. It would be about 5 or 6 degrees less angle than the other one was, but it was better.
Then we went on to the Golden Gate Bridge.
This is kind of the side view, and Jen got a video here of the whole trip over.
Yep, it took us about 2 minutes to cross the whole thing. There were a lot of people I noticed people walking on one side, but nobody hardly on the other side. And we finally figured out that they have pedestrians on one side of the bridge and bikes on the other side of the bridge, apparently.
I think it had to do with when you started on this bridge, you had a pull-off place you could go to the right, and you could park and view and walk over. And also at the other end, you had a place on the right-hand side you could park and walk back onto the bridge. So I know 90% of the people walking were probably coming from those parking spots. And the bikers actually have a bike trail that led them onto the bridge on the other side. They actually went under the road somehow and come back up over there. But there was a lot of people out there. And the traffic on the left-hand side, we was kind of worried about it because it is bumper to bumper. And we stopped at the overlook after we got across the bridge. We stopped and took some pictures, and it just stayed packed. And I told her we're looking at probably 2 hours to get back, and it took us 45 minutes to get here. And but when we took our time, went up to the top and took some pictures, by the time we headed back, they had cleared what apparently was a wreck.
Yeah, the traffic was non-existent anymore.
Right, we drove right across about as fast as we're going right here.
Yep. We did find some other traffic in San Francisco itself.
And that was because they had a race today. What was that, a 10K or something, or some type of race? She looked it up. They had everybody in costume. We kept wondering why everybody's in costumes. Well, she looked it up, and they had a race.
This is one of the tunnels we had to go under to go up to the viewpoint.
One lane, of course, they got bike lanes. And I saw one brave soul coming into this, and I tell you, I wouldn't have done it.
Nope. It's narrow in there. Oh, thank you.
And then we ended up at another point here where we're taking some pictures.
We thought this was a good point, and we found a better one later.
Yep. That was the open end. That's the very open end of the bay after as you're going out to sea from right here. That was to the right of this.
Right. We just, of course, took more pictures.
More video. The Golden State Bridge and Golden Gate Bridge when I say State Bridge. Definitely a lot of people. I'm amazed anymore at how few Americans we see.
This is true. Yes.
Everywhere we've been, we've seen everything but Americans.
Yeah, I've actually kind of felt like the minority here. More so in San Francisco. We are walking all the way to the top of the viewpoint up there, but we really think that where we were was a better viewpoint. But we're gonna walk up there anyway. What the heck?
This is walking up there, and if you see right over there to the top of the screen is the parking lot we originally stopped in, and that's where everybody parks and starts walking.
Yep.
And that's Alcatraz, the prison.
Yep. And as windy as it is here, there were a ton of little sailboats out there.
Yeah, they actually had the warning again, the gale force warning, told people to stay off the ocean, stay off the water.
But as you can see, the sailboats took full advantage of it.
That's the prime time to sail.
Yep. There were some that were just teeny tiny out there.
And then we come up to the bridge and had this fence around it, chain link fence, and that looks like leaves in it, but it's locks.
Yeah.
There's a ton of locks on that fence. Actually pulled the fence down in some areas.
Yep. Our little selfie that we had to do.
And there's just that's the profile picture of the Golden Gate Bridge you're supposed to take.
Yep.
And then this is actually the bunker that's behind it. Nobody paid any attention to the bunker, but I'm sure they had to guard this during the war.
Yep. There are actually several bunkers up there.
And that's another shot of the city as we're getting ready to leave. And there's another one of those self-driving cars.
Yep.
And then we had, again, ocean and rocks. You got less pictures of ocean and rocks this time. Yay!
Yes. You're welcome.
If you enjoyed our video, please select the subscribe and the like button below. To get to our next video, select one of the tabs.